Welcome back, hunters! I'm the Survivalist, and we return Monster Hunter Wilds, where after last episode we went over the Light Bowgun. We're going to talk about the Heavy Bowgun today, but instead of another drive, we'll just stay in the training area here to go over it. We're actually going to equip our... Come here, Aras, thank you. We're going to take a Heavy Bowgun out, and we'll go see about maybe trying to do some event quests, or an event quest or two at the Grand Hub, since we do have some festivities going on here. So... unlike last episode where I talked about like the Light Bowgun doesn't feel that great to play, the Heavy Bowgun feels better in a few regards for it. Ooh, really pretty. I want to show off all the cases of like where I think it's better in a proper hunt. Because that's where a few things, like say the power clash and the offset attack, will be able to be shown off a bit better. Okay, Festival Accordance, Blossom Dance. During festivals, special features added to the Grand Hub. Be around for limited time, make sure to visit while they're available. Enjoy limited time menu at the canteen by trading in Blossom Dance vouchers. Special outfit for handlers was prepared so they could join festivities. Talk to Alma, change your outfit. Updated daily things there. During the event period, now receive 2 lucky vouchers per day instead of 1. That's actually pretty good.
Ooh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, we got a fair bit there. So we'll see what we can get right into for some of the events, because I'm sure there's got to be a few of them. Here we go. What would be a good one here? I think 1 star is a low rank there. I'm trying to think of who would have a offset attack to actually go off against, but I don't know if they have anybody here. Actually, you know what? Doshagama is a good one to go after, as it will have one we can talk about. Yeah, so we're going to head right off, and it's actually a decent monster to use, since it is one that people might have familiarity from the demo if they played, and maybe tried out Heavy Bowgun there, but not quite in the full game with all weapons on offer. Oh, there he is. That's going to be pretty easy to find. So, just like the Light Bowgun, the Heavy Bowgun feels like its main focus is to be used in its ignition mode or its own version of rapid fire. It does have its own problems with this mode too, more so in it. You basically have two general types of how it behaves. One is the Wyvern Heart, as you see here, which is the Gatling gun. The other is a piercing effect. And here's the power clash. So it kind of throws you into QTE. All you basically do is do inputs to get extra damage out, and does build your ignition gauge back up a little more. But the other version of Wyvern Heart, or like the Wyvern Heart Piercer that bowguns get, doesn't really work all that well. It does do okay damage, but it has a pierce effect, so it doesn't really feel as good as the Wyvern Heart Ignition does. I think it's something maybe if you actually gave like a charging effect to the Wyvern Pierce Ignition, it'd be a bit better. But it just feels like it kind of is more lackluster to use. And one of the reasons why the Heavy Bowgun, I think, works so well is because you've given it the ability to have an active guard along with the automatic guard it had if you had the shield equipped. The inbuilt shield is a very nice touch for it. Because when I was playing and showing a friend the game in my own time, I told them that it feels like you're playing a tank turret. And that honestly is a great way to kind of describe the Heavy Bowgun. With the shield or the guard it has as a built-in option now, it does feel like you can basically be right against the monsters, and you are armored and defended for it. It's almost like a shielded howitzer, which, again, I think really sums up the identity of the Heavy Bowgun pretty well as big cannon with possibility for protection for yourself, too. I'll see about trying to get an offset attack here in a moment. But just like the Light Bowgun had issues with spread, the Heavy Bowgun has them a bit, too. The recoil is still really high for what you would expect for trying to use just like one of the basic ammo types. And then we do have to back up to get into critical range. But you can see there, it knocks you back and almost out of the critical range. I don't think any ammo type should be able to knock you out of your critical ranging. If it does, it has to be something really powerful, like, say, the Wyvern ammo we'll try out here. Which I haven't actually used yet, so I'm kind of curious to see how that'll perform. But I'll also try to get that offset attack here if possible. Oh, that was not it. Oh, this one... Oh, okay, I have the wrong type of counter equipped. That's... I think I do, at least. Oh, no, maybe I don't. Maybe I was just pressing the wrong button. There we go. Yeah, like, getting that cinematic effect off every so often helps feel like you're really getting cinematic experiences out. And the Wyvern ammo does have that build-up. When it's something really big like that, I do think you should be knocked out of your critical range for it. Because it does give you that feel of you're really channeling a lot of power there. And it's kind of ironic that the Heavy Bowgun, see if we can get a few wounds made. Although it doesn't have the charging focus blast, it does have the speed of what I think the Light Bowgun should have for its focus strikes. We'll just call Araz back over. Or Araz. I'm not sure the pronunciation, but he's got a lovely color scheme, thanks to the friend of mine working on it. Let's see. Yeah, we'll just get a few wounds made up this way, because this is a nice, easy way to do it. And is it just the two I can make? No, I can try making a third. So you don't have any... With the focus strike for the Heavy Bowgun... Okay, we'll just pop this back one. There we go. When it comes to using the focus strikes, you don't actually have anything like a charge effect. You can have, like, holding it until you're ready, and when the reticle has the honed-in ones there, you can let it go. Well, it's just like a fast little shot. It doesn't really do all that much damage, but the point of it is more so to give you the stagger it offers and break the wound. Oh, one thing about the, Oh, alright, gotta be careful of that. Forgot he does that. One thing about the offset attack is you do have to time it out pretty well, so that way you're not in too much danger with it, which I do like, so it's not just like a guarantee you'll get. I don't know if there is like a certain point of like critical need, though. Maybe not. But I'll try to show off the, Nope, get out of that. Yeah, because he just does the little flip. Ow. I'll try to show off the Wyvern Heart Pierce. Probably next hunt, because I think we'll probably be taking him down in just a moment here. I do also kind of want to see if... Okay, I think there is a little bit of a cooldown from, like, when the offset attacks will... No, maybe there is actually a cooldown between when you can, like, proc them off, as long as you get the timing right. I know I'm basically a beginner when it comes to using the Heavy Bowgun. I don't have a lot of experience with it yet. But even as a casual, being able to pull off, like, the offset attacks and work with the power clashing adds a much more cinematic and engaging experience than without them. That's why I think the Heavy Bowgun feels a lot better to play than the Light Bowgun. Again, I don't talk about the numbers or the meta or whatever you might want to refer to it as. Ooh. I wonder if there's a ball of horror down there. Oh, no, I think he just might as well follow up since... There we go. Spit us down. Oh. Okay, you're here, but... Where did the Doshagama go? Oh, geez, there he is. I was trying to figure out. It was coming down here. I guess with its size, it fell a little slower than we did. Get another one in. There we go. Yeah, so again, Doshagama was a pretty good part, or pretty good monster fight just to show off, like, the power clash and how the offset attack works. The more you have to mind your timing and be a bit more strategic and thoughtful with the fights, I feel like help elevate them far more than just, like, they generally can be. Yeah, we'll just end quest immediately, because we're going to leave the area. Oh, we got the whole party here. Araz, Runa, and the Balahara. Yeah, I'll take everything there. Just send all those away. So, my only issues really with the Heavy Bowgun stem from more minor nitpicks. Spread shot, again, I feel like doesn't work as well with this. Even with its recoil and being the heavier gun, you would think would help offset that. It doesn't. Oh, Alma. This place is exhilarating. I think change outfit might help me switch gears. Might have to take a moment to do that. Yeah, let her switch into something else. It is for the festival. Ooh, I like it. Okay, but we're going to go into here to customize the current bowgun. So yeah, you have magazine upgrades that we've seen before. We have ignition mode upgrade, which I don't know what it exactly does, if I'm completely honest. It says switches to ignition mode special type or increases level if it's already that type. I have no idea what that means. Ignition mode, this basically just like means your ignition mode recovers faster, as it says there. Wyvern Heart ignition is the Gatling gun. Wyvern Pierce ignition is a different one. So it slowly pierces through targets, increasing power the more it hits your target. So it's a little niche because if it's not against a big monster, it doesn't have as great of an effect. And the other one here, yeah, we'll swap that out too. So we actually lose the offset attack. I believe, at least. We'll check it out and see. But we'll show out both options like we had for the Light Bowgun. And just take this into a hunt to check it out. But yeah, that is my thinking, is the Heavy Bowgun feels better because you have more it does for, like, engagement with the monsters and their effects. And we'll go for a lot of Barina. Whereas the Light Bowgun I was talking about, it doesn't have all that much for, like, monster engagement. There's no guarding, so you don't have power clashes. There's no offset attacks. You don't have timing there. And it feels a lot clunkier to work with than the Heavy Bowgun does. Because the Heavy feels like it has a proper flow with being, again, heavy weapon. It fits a little bit better for what you expect it to feel like. It has the weight to match it, whereas Light one feels like it doesn't quite keep up with how the pacing can be for it on certain shot types. Spread across both bowguns needs to be brought down in what its recoil is. Pierce, well, actually, just maybe reloads in general you can dodge out of, but it's later in their animation cycle that actually triggers you've reloaded. And a few things like that. But yeah, so that is the Pierce, or the Wyvern Piercer Ignition. I think it'll do more damage. The only problem is it's a lot slower to use and work with. And again, as it said, certain monsters it probably works better against because of the piercing effect it uses. And I do want to show off what the other one that's not the counter is too, because I haven't used that one all that much. That actually worked out pretty well for us there. So it seems like it's... Okay, yeah, it's not really all that useful. It seems like it's just kind of like this little cluster mine, but it has a very firm, like, only hits at a certain range. And it doesn't seem like you can actually get an idea of what that range is until, like, you fire the first one. In my opinion, it's a definite downgrade from the Wyvern Counter Ignition. I think that one... I gotta see, can this use cluster? Because Okay, no, I might have to try to find a light bowgun, or sorry, heavy bowgun that has cluster you can use. Because I want to see if it is like the mortar type, because I think it was starting in Worlds. Cluster shots actually operated more akin to a mortar going off, and you'd get to see the strike zone. Because you don't see the strike zone with the, whatever the arcing one is called there, it feels a little... Well, actually, a lot harder to use and range it properly. And I was talking about, say, how certain monsters, it might be harder to keep in the critical ranging of it. Prime example is this one right here. Like, yeah, it really doesn't feel worth it to use this. Like, maybe once the monster's knocked down, possibly, because you do want to have, like, the full detonation go all the way through. But the problem with that is you need to have perfect ranging on it, and the monster to be still enough for the time it takes for that to actually, like, happen and go through. So I'm just going to go back, change out for the Wyvern Heart counter, and use that a bit more, because it feels like that is your best option for just in general. And right, I want to see what is one that has decent use of the cluster bomb. Or cluster shot. Gravioskagel. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll go back to Wyvern Heart Ignition, go back to Wyvern Counter. I want to try that out and just see how it is. And I just want to slot in that. And I doubt I'll be... Actually, no, let's go for precise to increase our critical ranging. And we'll try this out and see how it works. Because this has access to cluster, and I want to see if it does operate like the way it had in World and Iceborne. I think Rise and Sunbreak could operate that same way too, but... Again, I stuck to Light Bowgun for a lot of stuff, so I didn't get the full exposure to it as I probably should have. Oh. Yeah, having the ability to actually, yeah, it is just like how it was. So you do have, you choose where the shots go out to. I feel like that is something that, oh, good lord, also does a huge amount of damage. It does make sense that that one has the slow reload on it, because that is, like, the heaviest shot type possible. But yeah, that's what I think that other version of the customizable bowgun, or heavy bowguns, needs, is you can actually range and target what you're specifically trying to get out with it. And again, we run into the issue of that recoil is just too strong with spread to really be all that useful. Because you can't really follow it up all that well with any other shots. And because it does knock you kind of away from your... where you were, it can push you right back out of your critical range that you need for follow-ups. There we go. Got an offset attack, though. And because of the wound system in Wilds, no, I was thinking Gagios. Like, it can put out some numbers, but I still don't... I'd still rather see the numbers brought down, just for it to be more, like, feels like you can have better input and control with it. So that... Okay, we got one cluster bomb left. Everything else we've kind of already gone on through and seen. The only thing I haven't checked out has been the slicing ammo, which maybe we'll try a quick trip to the training room just to go over. But I have far fewer issues with the heavy bowgun for gameplay field as I do the light, which I think has been shown this episode with just going over the couple of hunts. I do wonder if maybe something that could be done for the focus strikes is if you're able to get all three off with, like, when you do go in to shoot with it, the more procs that happen at once, the higher you have a possible chance of staggering the monster. Boom. There we go. Another thing, too, is when you get out of a mount of the monster, I kind of wish the weapon wouldn't get sheathed. Oh. Damn, that went fast, if I'm honest. I mean, I did have to... Or I did stop kind of part way to change up the equipment a bit, but... The heavy bowgun shows that even if it does feel slower, it feels appropriate, and damage does go out for it. But I haven't gotten enough experience with the bow to test that out to see, like, how my comments on that are or how it feels. So I'll have to work at getting that in my own time a bit later. But what I'll probably do is maybe do another heavy bowgun hunt next episode. Try to find something with slicing ammo, show off how that feels, what it's like, and compare. I still feel like it might be a better case of keep the explosive ammos like the cluster, the wyvern fire, and the sticky in heavy bowgun, so it feels like a howitzer of sorts, and have the repeating effects more, say, like slicing, pierce, and spread, better suited or more fittingly with the light bowgun. Because it feels like it's death by 1,000 shots with the Light Bowgun and blow a hole in the monster with the Heavy Bowgun. They feel kind of appropriate and thematic for, like, their flavor. But I think for now, that's a good point to end this episode at. It's a little bit shorter than the previous one, but again, I didn't have as much to talk about or issues to really discuss with it. I'll try to get a slicing ammo, Heavy Bowgun. Maybe we'll see about that Ju Wu event quest that's as an option too. But for now, I think I'm good to send you guys out for today. So, thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode of Monster Hunter Wilds. If you did like the video, be sure to give it a like. And if you have any comments, tips, tricks, or suggestions or feedback on the Heavy Bowgun itself, be sure to leave it in the comments right down below. Until I see you all next video or episode, though, Hunters and Survivors, please remember, as always, to take care, stay alive, and happy hunting.